if I'm not mistaken, didn't you go back and interview a lot of guys in prison to see what they would do when they would confront somebody?
There's an idea out there that it takes years and years to become really proficient. You're looking at a combat sport, like anything in the UFC, MMA practitioners, world-class athletes. That takes years and years and years to become, one of those guys. That's a competition. It's a gamification of violence. There's nothing wrong with it. I don't mean that in a deriding way, but there's a big difference between competition and destruction. Destruction is a skill set that we all can learn, and that's what these prisoners understood. What's interesting is they by far are the best in the world at murdering people with their bare hands or improvised tools. Yet, the vast majority of the most intimidating shot callers in prison have zero training in combat sports and martial arts. So that's something that we all have to understand, is that when it comes to being able to use the skill sets of destruction, it's not the same as being an elite, combat sport practitioner that has to work within the rules and the context of the sport. So when they look at violence, they look at it from a standpoint of not anything other than getting a good result. It's a skill set we all should be aware of. We should know how this works. In the prison system that we're talking about, these guys are not using violence all the time. They're actually pretty sparing on when they use violence. But when they use it in a very specific manner, and it's only for result. It literally is life or death every time. It's grievous bodily harm. It's something that we can learn at, because the only time we as, law-abiding citizens should use this information is if we're devoid of choice. If we were facing imminent grievous bodily harm and we have no exits, no way to get away, the only thing that's going to get us out of that system is to be able to successfully use the tool of violence. And that's where we need to have good information.